Welcome back to Waking Up with Kandy, where we share our spiritual awakening journeys and experiences. Let's get into it. So, if this is the first time that we're meeting, my name is Candace, and I'm a bright and shiny being just like you. And today, we're going to have Kaylyn come on and share her story and her experiences, and we'll just, get to know her more. So, yay! Thank you for joining, and I see that she's here. So let's do this. Can you guys hear? I hope you can hear me. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So I was really tempted to do a filter on my face because they're just so cute, but Okay. I'll do a little plug here. Hi, everybody. Hi. Thank you for joining. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Oh, my God.
Thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing in this space, and I'm all about it. Oh, I do have the doggies over there, so hopefully, let's all send them energy to, not bark during this, and...
Yeah, you have no worries. You have the puppies, and I have my kitten here trying to get to the candle and, all over the place, so...
Of course.
You'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be good. Yay! So, Kaylyn actually, she is such a supporter of, the concept or the conversation, the space of just coming together and sharing our awakening experiences and, talking about it, really, getting it out there. And so I love it. And we met on, through Instagram. She's so amazing and so cute. I love, honestly, her lives are just, so kick-ass. And she's always just, tells it like it is. She's I love it. And not to mention her accent's amazing. So, okay, enough about me. Yes.
You're fine. Well, thank you again. Yeah, I do. I love what you're doing. And if you don't mind if I preface that, even for me right now, I tell people, doing lives is nerve-wracking, and doing a live and, speaking about your spiritual awakening, that can be nerve-wracking. I know it might be difficult, but I know it's liberating, and I know it's empowering, and I just love that you're doing this and creating this space for people, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen anyone else do this. So
yeah, I felt the
up,
push. Yeah, I felt that push for a while before I actually did it, and I'm like, no, I'm still shy. But it's
yeah.
Girl, you need to do this. So yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming, and please, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're located, where you're from, how old are you? Are you
Yeah,
single?
sure.
Just kidding.
Sure, the basics. Yeah. So I'm Kaylyn. I'm 34. My birthday, oh my God, it is my solar return this year, Hala. I just figured that out 2 days ago. My birthday is coming up in July, so I'm excited about that. I usually don't really care about my birthday, but I'm okay, solar return, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona, and I work for myself. I do what people might call gig work, but I do my readings. I love that. I do coaching during the school year. I was a teacher for 7 years, a high school English teacher back in Pennsylvania and Philly, where I'm from. So I still teach kids. I just tutor. So yeah, I do that during the school year. I have a couple of stragglers right now that are dragging their feet. We're about to start their college essays. So that'll be fun.
That's your specialty though, right? I remember the first live I came on, you were just if you need help, I'll help you. You're a super researcher, and you're we can get it in. I love that.
Yeah, I'm all about writing. That's the thing, it's funny because, teaching, the reason I left the classroom is pretty obvious, and I'm probably going to touch on that later. Yeah. But, I still always love the English setting, literature, because you have the opportunity to talk about life and words and creating through writing and analyzing what you're reading, being critical thinkers. So it did fit the best it could for a very matrixy situation. But yeah, so now I'm in Arizona and I'm chilling. I love it here. I definitely am really digging the whole, what are they calling it now? Camper life or whatever, or van life they call it. Yeah. I'm seeing so much of that out here. I think it's totally cool. And I see a lot of people that I'm in touch with through Instagram, I met them through Instagram, that are really into these 5D communities that are popping up everywhere too. So I'm feeling that. I'm researching all that stuff, learning how to do all the building and everything at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Guys, she's the researcher. Like she's not just like for English essays, like the researcher on a ton of information, you know, what's going on around here, you know, high vibe, low vibe, all the vibes around.
The truth. Just the truth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, as we say that, I want to, okay, so let's kind of go back a little bit and you could take us to, you know, the straw that broke the camel's back, like
Yeah. So
that
that's what it
moment.
was.
Yeah, like what? Like that
That's so
moment.
funny. So yeah, okay. So like, first of all, I'm not great with being linear, but I certainly know like the tower moments, if you will. So I was, well, let me just start off by saying too, like, as a kid, I was like the typical, like what we like to call starseed, right?
Yeah.
Like I spent a lot of time looking at the sky, feeling like I didn't belong, wondering why I was observing like all this crazy, like violence, chaos, like homelessness, like you name it. Like I'm just like, why is everyone cool with this? And I always question the world. But the biggest thing about my childhood and like through my early teens, which really, you know, I'll always remember this because it was just such a strong feeling I had. I didn't want to not believe in anything. In other words, like my mom was Italian Catholic, took us to church every week. My dad would stay home. I'd try to stay with him, never worked. So I'd go. I didn't like it there. I didn't know why. It wasn't like a really solid reason, except I had a lot of questions that weren't being answered. And I remember deciding at a pretty young age, like I want to say when I was like 10, like I feel like I was in like fifth grade was when it was. And I just remember deciding like, look, I want to believe in something. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not knocking like all the stuff they're teaching me like at church, and I went to Catholic school. But I wanted to know, always said to myself, whoever teaches me what coincidences are is the person I will follow. Because I had so many coincidences is what I was calling them at that time. Now I would call them synchronicities, obviously. But I would just like be so intrigued by that. And I could just see like the art in the world, right? So time went on, and you know how it is. Like we all get conditioned. We all try to play the game. Like, you know, I remember finishing high school and being like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to go to college and all these things. But even by the time I went to college, I felt like I had so many lifetimes in one already. In other words, I had so many, every year, I never had the same year twice. We moved a lot. I had different friends. I also have the personality I like to try new things, so I was always involved in different things. I was never afraid to like just create something, and like when it failed, I didn't really give a shit because we're moving anyway, like stuff like that. So yeah,
Cool.
I just felt like I never had like good practice in getting used to things, and I used to blame it on that. So then when I, you know, finished college, which by the way, even college, like I went to 3 different high schools, 3 different colleges, like just everything was weird. It never made sense, but I was resilient. And the best part about it was, which I like, well, I really value this. It exposed me to so many different cultures and backgrounds, and you know, even like the economic structure of like, you know, living in different areas. And you know, I feel like I can, because of all those different experiences, I can put them together now, and I feel like I can go anywhere and really be like the observer but also engage, because I like new culture. I like seeing, I like to learn about people.
I was gonna say, you love to learn. Yeah.
So yeah, so even though it sounds like a kid's worst nightmare, like for me, I didn't really care. I mean, I did, but that's different. Anyway, I went to college, did what I was supposed to do, like go to college, all that stuff. I kept having problems, like let's be real, I just didn't take it serious. And I did enough, like I was smart enough to do what I needed to do to get the grades. But I remember getting to the point where I was like, this is so stupid. We're all here, you know, getting the degree that like our parents want us to get. you know, that we're paying for. Like I always remember being like, I always worked, I had no problem working. I was like, this is like, I couldn't make sense the logic. And that was when it really started, with like the logic behind things. So not only was I like a kid confused at what I was observing on like a humanitarian level, but then I was like, wait, hold up. Like money wise, this doesn't make sense. Like what are we doing? We're really not learning. We're just getting the A's, B's, and C's that we need to get out of here. Half is done, and we're paying this money, and then I'm still working, and you know, at that time I still wanted to go out on the weekends and all kinds of stuff. Like this just doesn't make sense. Did it anyway. I ended up leaving college with like, I mean, I was a double major anyway by accident, because like English is a major, education, and then I was also communications with an emphasis in public relations, because I had switched my major so many times. I think I had the most credits of anyone. It was like, I was like, oh shit, like that was real kind of embarrassing. Like I could have done this smarter. But again, I didn't take it serious, and I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to teach. I do remember thinking to myself, like, the experience I had as a teen, as a kid, I want to make sure that kids have an experience they're satisfied with. And in my like dreamer imagination mind, I thought that I could like single-handedly do that as a teacher, as an educator in these schools that I worked in. But after college, I did what everyone does, like dumb shit, like dated a guy, fell in love, got married. Now this was when it was like enough is enough. This was when it was like, so I was going to break up with him. And I remember I even called my mom and told her. He wouldn't mind me even telling this story, because like we're cool now. Unconditional love. So I told my mom, I told my best friend Vicky at the time. I was like, dude, the lease is about to be over. As soon as it's over, I'm gonna break up with Matt. And everyone's like, really? Wow, because they all thought we were gonna get married. Lo and behold, my dumbass, he's like, let's go away for the weekend, which was kind of like him. And I'm like, all right, fine, we'll go. He proposed to me. And I remember knowing I didn't want to say yes. And it wasn't because it was anything with him at that time. I just knew I wasn't satisfied with anything in my life, and I wanted to figure it out. And being in a relationship and getting married and signing up for this fake, phony, like everything, like I just knew it wasn't going to work for me. But how do you tell someone no? At that time, I didn't know, so I said yes.
Yeah.
So here I go, Monday morning, walking to work. Oh, what's that? What's that? Like, oh God. So now I'm committed.
Now you dug in, instead of that being the slap or the moment they were like, let me go this way. You're like, let's go.
Oh no. But exactly, that should have been. And isn't it funny how we do that to ourselves? Isn't it funny how like we know in our heart something so much, but because of the societal pressures and because of fear of disappointing other people, whether it was Matt or at that point, my God, it was the teachers I worked with. You would have thought I was born and raised with them. They were so excited. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want to change my last name. Like, so I decided to have a fast engagement and just kind of get it over with mentality. I also wasn't into the whole, like, all the shit that goes with that. That was just me. So I wasn't going to pretend all the way, right? So, like, I was my compromise to myself. We get married, and I'm like, what? And I remember sitting outside, like, I was like a DIYer. I made a lot of cool shit for my wedding. And I remember being out there, like, making crafts and, like, being on Pinterest and shit like that. And being like, I don't know who I'm trying to fool. And I remember telling myself then, like next lifetime. Like, next lifetime, I'll do it right. I already know I'm signing up for the wrong shit. Again, it wasn't because, how it is. You're in a relationship with someone for a year or two. It's great. You should break up. But I was, again, codependency. All these things I can look at now, and I understand what I was doing. But in the moment, I was just on the wheel.
And doing the best you could in that moment, making those decisions then, like, you had to obviously go through it. Yeah, I have such a similar story. So I feel you, like, yes.
You got it, yeah. And I think, here's the truth. I think a lot of people, have their own version of something like this, where, you know, you make a decision, it changes your life. In your heart, you know, you made the wrong decision, or you were just trying to satisfy other people, right? And then here I go, walking down the damn aisle, fighting the whole day, fighting that, you know, and that's, so then speed up. That's when I was like, all right, fuck this shit. Like, between that, my realization that, yes, I wanted to be a teacher, but that I hated the school systems. At that point, again, I continued my pattern, my looping, if you will, of having a new life every year. I kept getting, in Pennsylvania at the time, and probably because of like I had a decent GPA, but I went to like Shippensburg University. If anyone knows, it's like a basic state school. So in a very competitive, whatever they call it, field, it was hard to get a job. In other words, you had to get some experience. So I'd be a long-term sub at a charter school one year, a long-term sub at a Catholic school the next. Then I might go to a middle school out in the burbs. Then I might go to a middle school out in the burbs, or a high school out in the burbs. So every year, but like I was smart. Like I could play the Matrix game. I still always got a job next year, even if it was like literally the day before school started. I still always, you know, like made good rapport with the people I worked with. But I just made up my mind that year. I was like, they're like, oh, a permanent position might open. I'm thinking in my head, well, that's too bad because my ass ain't coming back. And I just decided my marriage sucks. I should have never did it. This job sucks. I should have never did it. And I had nowhere to go. I didn't necessarily have the means to really like roll out. Plus, I still had my ego in the way. So here I am, and then I did. So this is the thing. I said, I made a deal with myself. I said, if at the end of the school year I still feel like this, I don't care if I don't have a place to go. I'm just rolling out, and that's what I did. And I didn't know I was going for the first few days, and I didn't care. I packed my car. My husband at the time watched me do it, and that hurt a lot because I still didn't think he would ever let me leave, but he did. And then it actually did get worse than that. Like, and I'm not going to get into that here. But I had enough reason to leave at that point. And the school thing, I'm like, I know I'm going to find another way to teach. I'm not, in other words, I made up my mind, and lo and behold, the universe always provides, even when you do some crazy shit like that. Because within a few days, maybe 2 days, I worked something out. A friend of mine from school, another teacher, we became friends. We were like acquaintances at work, but like she had a loft in her townhome. She understood because she was young when she got a divorce. And she let me stay in her loft. I paid her a few bucks for like 2 months till I got my own place. Boy, did everything come in. Like that's when I was like, wow, awakening, holla. Like, and I didn't know what that was. I didn't know, yeah, I know, right? I didn't know what that was. I thought I felt free and relieved. I felt empowered and great. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, there's more to the story. Because things were coming up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's how it goes, right? Like, I think most of us will agree, like, you start cutting off the things that no longer serve, so you create this new space. And then you're releasing, so there's even more new space. And you're like, whoa, what did I get myself into?
Oh my gosh, dude, you're like telling my story right now. I feel it's like, oh yeah, I'm super into it. Like, you know, doing all the stuff, right? And all the, you know, my full moon releasing everything that no longer serves. And I knew exactly what shit did not serve anymore. And then it started to unravel and break down the tower moment, you know, and then you're like, oh, I did that. Oh shit. Okay, it's happening. All right.
Yeah. So, and then you go, and so for me, it was like, okay, so I'm right back where I started from. Not in the what it appears to everybody else version. You know what I mean? At that point, I wasn't even in the state of mind to consider that. It was just, I'd never felt at home here. I still didn't feel at home. Yeah. And I remember the thing that I became the most angry and resentful about, truly, I was so fucking mad. I wanted to hire a hitman. Like, I wasn't playing games. I was like, I want to kill this man. Not because of him, but because I believed in my heart that I missed the chance to get married and have kids. And I look back at my old self in that state of mind, and I can't believe that that is how strong the conditioning was for me.
Yeah.
And I know it is sometimes for other people.
Right.
However,
And the guilt is huge.
The guilt. Oh my God, I felt so bad that my parents were going to have grandkids and all this stuff. Like I couldn't believe it. And, you know, people would be like, oh, you'll meet someone else. And I'm like, why would I want to be with someone else right now after what just happened here, you know? Yeah. And I just was bitter. I was depressed. I was so depressed. And then I learned breath work, basically. But yeah, the tower fell. And I mean, I was like, this is why I love what I do right now. Because when I get to work with other people and I see how, for many of them, I'm in awe at the speed at which they are doing that healing work. Who knows? Maybe I just sucked at it. But they are just, I think these energies are really serving anyone who is having an awakening. They're able to move through things, even if they don't know what they're actually doing, by the way, because God knows I didn't then. I still don't now half the time. But they're moving through it, and they're having that remembrance that took me so long to even trust, let alone tap into, right? Yeah. Yeah, and so I just am like, dude, it's an awesome time to be alive. It's an honor to be here. It's so amazing to be on the other side of your healing, even if we weren't here at this time, right? Yes. Because it's so empowering. It's so empowering.
It feels good on the other side. And when you're in it or before, you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. You don't want to. You don't want to even. But then once it's so good. It's really good. But that's so true. And you know what's so beautiful is I, too, was like alone in it by myself. I felt I didn't know what I was doing. Like, what? But now we're so the new, you know, people that are just now awakening, kind of like questioning things. They're so supported because this is the time.
And this is the time.
Yeah.
There's a million of us. We're everywhere.
Exactly. And that proves it even more amazingly beautiful. Like, how can this not be the time? How could it not be the prophecy? How could it not be what's supposed to be happening, right. You know?
For Pete's sake, it's like trendy. Like, whoever thought like the underdogs, oddballs, black sheep group is we're feeling everything is changing, right? Everything is turning around. So it is a cool time to be alive. It is a cool time to wake up and step into it. It is so much better on the other side. And I was one of the people, I mean, I had made up my mind. It got so bad for me. I mean, to be totally, I was ready to leave this earth. Like, I was done. I was done. And then miraculously, something came on TV. I started doing breath work. I started meditating, changed my life almost instantly. Almost instantly. As soon as I sat down, it changed my life almost instantly. And once I had such a change happen so quickly, I was on it. You think I'm a researcher now. That was actually really cute that you acknowledge that, because I do like good sources. Like, I'm not one to really hang out and watch vids like I used to. When I was first having the awakening, you should have saw my apartment. Mad scientist out the ass. I had affirmations everywhere. My research, I would have YouTube going on TV while I'm typing shit on my laptop. It was just, I wanted to know it all. But it felt good to know truth, even the ugly truth. It felt good to, you know, understand why I felt the way I felt. In other words, everything became valid. And I no longer needed to look outside of myself for the validation, right? Yeah. That's the game changer. That's the game changer. And then, of course, you get all excited because you want to tell other people. That doesn't work.
No, maybe now, yeah.
Now is different. Now is different.
Cool. Yeah.
Now is different. You know what I'm talking about, though, when you're all excited and you like tell them, like, and they're just like, this girl, like.
I know, like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, fuck, all right. And then you just go in hiding. You're like, all right, well, I'll just talk, you know, it's just me and me.
Back to my research.
Whatever. Oh, I know. But it's so, actually, I am so thankful that it was that way for me. You know, I don't know if you feel like, would you rather kind of do it now, or like you're glad to like have it, you know, your awakening before?
That's a good question. I mean, I think like that's a really good question. Honestly, I'm down with how it went down. Like, it was painful. It was long. It was, you know, 10 steps forward, 10 steps back, or whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
But like once you, like, I don't know, now it's so cool again to see more and more people coming in on this level. And those of us that maybe had the experience a little bit earlier, like there's no hierarchy around here. It's just like now we can help. And it feels so good to help. And we get to be creative, which is what the world needs more than ever, if you ask me. So we're creative in the way that we do it because we know it's kind of a funky, weird situation, right? So we can bring out that creativity and model it. And it's even more effective, you know, on a collective level. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't trade it. I guess I would keep it how it is.
Yeah. I love it. No, me too. And it's amazing to witness, to be the witness, like you said, like to really see more and more people waking up, more and more people like asking questions and like, hey, you talked about that like crystal, like what kind of crystals do you recommend? I don't know. Like I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God.
It's so exciting. Yeah. You're like, oh, another one. Yeah. And you know, too, it's a good point because I always looked at it as this, like we all have it inside of us. We all have that life force energy. We all, like our soul is the dominant energy, right? It's just we're in this body, this costume for this experience for whatever reason our soul wanted to come here. And our soul feels lucky to be here. And it's nice when the human feels good to be here too, right? But like, I don't know where I was going with that, by the way, because now I'm all like getting all dreamy and imaginative. But I don't remember what I was going to say, honestly.
Just being maybe the witness, you know, the witnessing.
Oh, yeah, witnessing. So now that we see, again, more of the, it's almost like the proof is in the pudding, the confirmation. We're just seeing it. Like, and I think, did you just say prophecy a minute or two ago? Because that is so I did. Everything is being fulfilled. Anywhere you look. Skepticism is just for the birds, because whether you're doing it on a science quantum level, whether you're doing it on, for Pete's sake, even the Bible at this point, the thing that I couldn't stand when I was a kid, I can find truth in there, especially if you give me, what's the one, King James. Like, the Hopi prophecy is what I'm after, the Aztec prophecy, all these prophecies that are coming up and out, and we could go on, right? Like, almost every culture has something that spoke to these times.
Yep.
And then isn't it funny too, like we don't realize, like, this is why we say we're light warriors or whatever, like we're on mission. We have something inside of us, this drive. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Everyone has it inside of them, the life force energy, but some of us have this drive to really bring it, to uplift it like it's never been before. Actually, literally, like it's never been on Gaia before. And there's something about remembrance. There must be some experiences that our souls had that we have this driving force, and it's like, yeah, like we're just with it. And then they're coming up, and we're like, oh my God, if you build it, they will come, and it's working. Right?
I know. Like I feel like getting into that giddiness, like, oh my gosh, like it like blows my mind. It's so amazing. Like it is so cool. It's so cool and so fun. And of course there is that hasn't always been so fun. I mean, you know, but overall, yeah, it's fun though, still. Either way. Anyway, it's the journey. It's like, what is
it's the journey. And it's the outcome that we're after, right? Like if there's one thing that our own awakening taught us is like, and our own healing taught us is like, you know, you spend so much time in those low energies. Yeah, you have to recognize them and transmute them, blah, blah, blah. But like, let's be real. We want to focus on the outcome. We want to move through it. And now, like, I'm seeing more and more people that are kind of like, I'm like, damn, you guys are multitaskers. Like, you're healing, but you're creating. And you're, even like the throat chakra thing, like, they're able to speak about it so much better. And I'm just like, this is a no-brainer. We're fulfilling prophecy, and people are rising up. And in a peaceful way, out of love. And it's naturally, energetically, kind of separating on its own. And I know that it's going to turn into unity by the time we're done with this place, right?
100. That's it. 100%. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt on my end. I mean, it's just gonna happen. That's what we're gearing towards. I do want to ask you something really quick. So, do you have, what's your, like, just in case somebody's kind of watching and they're like, light warrior, like, you know, I know you have like team light, you know, and you know, light workers and stuff like that.
like, what's your definition of that? In case somebody's like, am I that? Like, I don't know. Like,
That's a
I
great question. That's a great question, and I'd love to address it because it is actually important. Um, because like anything else, it's evolved. And what I'm saying today is going to be how I feel about it today, but things evolve, branch out, and whatever. So light worker, like I didn't even know what that was when I had my awakening. We didn't use terms like that. But really, essentially, it's someone who works with light. Light is the truth or the illumination. We're going from Homo sapien to Homo luminous, the light body, right? And then the dark is just the mistruth or misinformation or the shadows. This is why we've heard, the sayings like, the truth will come to light, things like that. So when you hear people, for me, in my perspective, I know everyone has their own, and it's really, there's so many people now, right? So people have their own, but initially, I feel like it was just an individual who has had an awakening, who is doing healing, has done a lot of healing, and is continuing to heal, right? It's an ongoing thing, but is determined to bring light in the darkness, to be a lighthouse for others, to do what's happening right now. So when it seems dark out there in Matrix world, you're that beacon. You don't got to do shit. You just stand there in your truth, in your light, and the people who are seeking truth will see the light shining, and they find it. So whether it's just an interaction at, you're getting gas and you do, say hello or smile, God forbid, at someone, damn, whatever. Or, they're in need and they send me a DM, and next thing you know, we're doing a coaching session or something like that. Or a reading, It looks different, but it's an ongoing, I'm going to call it a dedication, or sometimes I call it a mission. You feel like you're on mission. I joke, I feel like I'm a Power Ranger some days. I'm just like, not really, right? I'm being silly, but you just really have this inner drive to shed that light, because there is so much mistruth out there. And by working with light and shining light in dark situations, right? That's the only way they're going to see it. It had to get dark. If it was light out, no one would see the truth. It had to get dark. So now it is enough. It has been. Hashtag 2020. And here we go. We get to shine. And the more we light up, so it's, how energy works. If you're a lighthouse and your light is on, and then their light is on, and then light, and then more and more and more and more and more, and
ripple.
It spreads, right? So that's how I define light and light worker. Light warrior. So when you hear, it was like when I was joking about the Power Ranger thing, right? Like light warrior, because we not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but yeah, we do. We feel like we're in a battle right now. We feel like there is a battle on our consciousness and the truth, and that's what we're after. We're just after love and the truth. And in order to have true, unconditional love, some things have to come out. And we're the ones that are able to model, just how to, move through that, navigate that, and bring us to higher energy, higher frequencies. If that makes sense.
It makes sense to me perfectly. So then when you say modeling, that makes me think of with your family, immediate family, I don't know if you have any brothers or sisters,
A brother, yeah.
or relations. So how do you kind of navigate around, by the way, that was such a beautiful explanation of light worker and light warrior. I really love that. That was so beautiful. That was
You're
perfect.
very sweet. Thanks.
Seriously. We're for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how do you kind of navigate your way? I guess that's kind of a loaded question, because it's kind of before 2020, currently now.
No, doesn't matter. He's still asleep, so it doesn't matter. Not to cut you off, but I see what you mean, because that is, not just a pivotal time in Earth's history, but really the whole universe. It affects, again, we're all one, so it affects everything, right? My brother, for example, I love him. He's a cool kid, right? And he doesn't get it, but he does. He's like everyone else. You see the glimmer in them, or you say something in a way that you're planting a seed, or you're just being thoughtful with your words, and I'll see him, he'll get it, or he'll make a face or whatever. But to actually take action, Nah. He'd rather just work his job and take his vacations, which he's really good at. He's traveled the world. I mean, he's not one of those like drone masters or nothing, but like he has so much more and he knows so much more. But like, you know, I'm shining light, AKA like planting seeds of truth. I used to be, I mean, listen to me. I can talk a lot. I get excited. I used to do that, and it rubs them the wrong way. Same with my parents, you know, or anyone really. They don't get it. At their level of consciousness, what I'm saying can't reach them. But I've gotten better at, like, doing it strategically with them and others, and I know he's receiving it. It's to the point now he just doesn't want to acknowledge it because it's too hard. It's easier. In other words, it's easier to act like things don't exist, and I just choose love. Like, I just choose to love them anyway. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell are you thinking? But I just choose to love him anyway. Like, it's his life. He gets to pick. Free will is always on deck. Free will is always on deck. You know, like there's always that highest potential available to everyone, but you can pick. And I always remind myself too, because sometimes it's difficult, but like I always remind myself, you know, like every soul has a different purpose. I know I don't remember signing up for this. Like what, like really? Like I really would, I can't, like I didn't pick it, but again, once the ego goes away and you just do it because it's aligned with your soul and you know, you do it. But for someone like him who hasn't aligned with his, you know, his soul or however you want to phrase that, I'm just like, you know what, just be happy then. Like that's kind of part of the reason just be happy. No suffering. I don't want to see any suffering, him or anyone else. That's my beef. There should not be any suffering on this level, period. So as long as he's good, he's good. And I still think he'll wake up even more than he already has shown me like glimpses of.
Well, but look again, it's the breadcrumbs, it's the nudges, it's the little sprinkles that you've done. So even though, you know, maybe he's like, oh, roll his eyes or get annoyed or whatever have you, it's in there. Like it sinks in. Like the higher self, the subconscious, like, okay, got it. Okay, we'll use it. Okay, all right, keep feeding it, you know. And that's the whole point. And I love that you return back to love, and you're not like, because some people are having a really hard time with spreading the truth and trying to kind of like, okay, no, you really should be doing this, or you really can't be doing that. And
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's good to hear you.
Yeah, but I struggle too, and you know who I struggle with the most? My immediate family. Now, they live on the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast, so that helps me a lot. But, like, yeah, I mean, another thing I've been really, you know, coming to terms with is this. If we're going to have more and more people continue to wake up, and we say I didn't speak my truth. Now, for me, yeah, it's doing videos. I don't expect everyone to do that. My goodness, I can't believe I'm doing it, to be very blatantly honest with you. But at some point for the awakened soul, like by having the bravery to speak your truth, whether it's dropping seeds or, you know, maybe you like gift them a crystal and like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's rose quartz. It's good for unconditional love. Whatever it is. I don't care how you do it. It's different for everyone. But if you're not speaking your truth, now when those people wake up, they don't know where to go. They don't know that there's a shitload of us on Instagram, hashtag all the stuff we do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's things, communities like this and things are about, they don't know. So that's another reason I love seeing, and I always encourage everyone, because I know it's difficult, but stepping into your truth, whatever it looks like, just not keeping it, because that is, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues is that, you know, and I believe in past lives. I don't know if you or your listeners do, but in our past lives, maybe we spoke our truth and we were judged for it. We were, for Pete's sake, like sabotaged, or God, maybe they even stoned us. Yeah, exactly. So, so we know, oh, hush, right? But this is the time to be like, nah, like this is when it's really worth it. We have to practice. But I understand why people get really nervous about it. And like you said, they get even really angry or upset, or, you know, we're all getting better at like practicing how we articulate our words, because they are so powerful. But yeah, it's so important for us to speak our truth so that when they wake up, they know where to go. That's why I'm not worried about it. Because when shit pops off in Philly, everyone knows who to call, the crazy one with all the crystals that moved to Arizona, and God knows what she's doing right now. You know what I mean? That's great. I'm all about it.
That's
so
right.
That is one thing I encourage everyone to not be afraid to speak up, especially now. Everyone's so confused out there. Like, what's another, like, talking about a past life, like, that's not going to make them blink an eye. But it'll matter later. Yeah.
Exactly. No, and so that brings me to that's totally on point. So true. And that's why this is so good, this dialogue, because no matter what part or the journey you're on, like, I love to hear your story, to have your experiences and things that you've learned that is now wisdom that you can share on. People can relate to you. People can be like, oh my God, I've been through that too. Like, okay, cool. Or, you know, they don't really know where to begin. And no matter what the spectrum is, we have such wisdom to share. And in that sharing is so important, just like you said. So on point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's true for all of us. And it is scary to sound, you feel nuts, you feel crazy, you feel like, why doesn't look like us? So yeah, that's why I love this project. I love what you're doing. And I love that you're collecting so many stories. It's like, again, it's almost like we're collecting data by accident, because it's like, look, here's more, because it's just happening to so many people. It's great.
I know. Oh my gosh. So the new like awakened, you know, just the kind of opening their flower. What advice would you give them? I know you did name, you know, a few things, and so maybe like if you want to do additional, what, I don't know, like what kind of like pep talk, like.
Yeah, well, no, I think that's great. So, you know, first of all, I think it's important to understand that everyone is, again, at a different place and space. They have different karma, soul mission, soul plan, all that stuff. Yeah. So it's not a one-size-fits-all deal. So we can't beat ourselves up if we try to help someone and they don't receive the guidance or the assistance or the hint or whatever that we're given. Yeah. So that's, trust me, there's plenty of opportunities to do this every day. So don't beat yourself up over it. But it really, like, the way I feel about all of it is there's something for everybody. For example, my dad's always had a little inkling of aliens, is what I'll call them. He'll watch that weird secret space show. Every now and then he'll be like, oh, I thought I saw something in the sky. Just little shit. So like I might come in with some kind of like ET talk with him, and he'll be like, or he might even say Kaylyn. but I got his attention. And he sees me in an inspired state talking about it, so it gets his attention more. Someone like Andrew, much more practical, more scientific, I might talk to him about quantum, right? Like different realities. Or you know what I really was talking about? The Simpsons. Bro, they didn't predict it. They wrote it. How about that? Like, this is the point. So things like that. So meeting them where they're at, but also doing it very subtly. Like, for example, like I have all these crystals and stuff. Like, if I have one in my pocket, or if I'm like, say I'm sitting to eat, I might just put it on the table. Or I'm not going to be all like crazy about it. I'm not going to point it out. Hey, this is like black tourmaline. It's really good for X, Y, and Z. If someone asks me, they're willing to receive, so I'll take the time to do it. But you never want to push it on people, because let's be real. No one likes to be told what to do. I know. No one likes to be told. And then you don't want to make them feel stupid either. But like my final thing and the most important one, above all, like the number one, is to model it. After I had my awakening and I started healing myself, that shit, it was ugly. It was not, like, I was a different person. And I mean, I'm a different person now. I mean, you know what I mean by that. Yeah. But when I started to raise my vibration, to raise my energy, to become more conscious, to do things in a sacred way throughout my day that made me feel good, I wasn't putting that on advertisement, but they could feel me when I walked. My energy felt different. I felt different, and people were happy for it. Like Kaylyn, you look really good, or you must be doing really good, or actually, like, you have no idea, but they can feel it. So when you model it, you get their attention. They can feel your energy. So even if you don't want to teach explicitly or plant seeds, you know, like we like to call it, just stand in it. Stand in that truth. Stand in that love. Stand in that light. the best that you can, and let them ask the questions, because they will. They'll be scratching their head like, what the hell is she on? What are you on? Like, because you're just different. You're like, nah, bro, all natural.
No, it's so true though. You got to be like, if you could be the example and just like lead your way of light, and then yeah, they just are curious because there's something within them that's it's already like the blueprint, and it's like, okay,
Exactly.
we just gotta like decide to turn and look this way and just ask the question or what have you. So
Right.
yeah, that's good
I love
advice.
that though. And it goes back to being the lighthouse or the spark, right? They have it in them. Like, everyone has it in them. Everyone, no except, and they just sometimes just need a little spark to get them going. Like, oh my God. And then they're on their way, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's so exciting. It's so freaking
It
exciting.
is.
Okay, so, well, can you let us know how long have you been doing tarot, what other services that you offer, and how can everybody find you and wish you happy birthday? And by the way, I wore this because, you're a Leo.
Thank you. That was so cute. Even if you just made that up right now, it's so cute. I do love lions. I love
I know.
them.
Okay, hold on, times. Before we get into that. Okay, so literally last night I had a dream. It was last night, the day before. Anyways, whatever. You were in my dream and you were like telling me about like lions, talking about lions, and then I'm like, oh, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, oh shit, she's a Leo. Oh my gosh, okay. And like I don't know what that was, but you're just like schooling me on lions and it was
I
really
love
interesting.
them.
Anywho.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I was in a dream with the lion. Yeah, I love them. And I love, to tell you the truth, I don't get excited about my birthday. I get excited about the Lions Gate and 8/8 energy. That's like my favorite day of the year. But yes, if anyone is interested, to answer your question, I appreciate that. I've been doing tarot for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Oh, dang.
I would say maybe more than 5, come to think of it. Not great with layer time, but yes, I have tarot. What was that?
I said she did warn us.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, you're like, I'm not great with linear time. You're so funny.
I know I'm really not, and it's like it is embarrassing. I'm like I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So I've been doing tarot for a while. I do have readings.
So sorry, like 5 years, like even if it's a little bit more, like you're really good. And tarot is like kind of like an always evolve, like learning new ways to look at this, and you're really good. Like
that's very really kind of you. That's another thing I didn't pick. I didn't want to do tarot. My soul, in my awakening, I was guided to do it. So I got an oracle deck. I was like, all right, I know I'm like cutting corners. So I got the tarot deck. And I must have done it in past lives or something because, and I was an English teacher, so I understand symbolism of the card. But what I would do is I would do a reading like for myself, and then I would like go on YouTube and watch and see, like I would do like a Leo reading and see like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting a lot of the same cards. So it gave me the confidence, but I do love it. I want to be clear. When I do tarot card readings, like, yes, we see some of your future upcoming energies, but I set the intention and really activate my cards in a way that shows you how to heal. So when someone books a reading with me, we look at all the energies, past, present, and what's coming up for them, but it's to assist them with navigating the energies in a way that heals wherever the blockages are, if that makes sense. So if there's something that has to do with guilt or whatever, and there's a situation coming up where mom's going to guilt trip you, we look at the energies all around it and, do it in a way that helps with the healing process. So, yes, I have that available. I also I'm a healer, so I do hand healing, aka Reiki. I'm kind of getting away from that term because it's just, I'm making it my own. Like you said, I've kind of evolved it into my own, but the hand healing, and yeah, I do coaching sessions, but not right now. If anyone wanted, I would start doing it again, but I just like to flow. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me to book something, they can go to A Lightworker's Journey on Instagram and click the link in my bio, and they're all right there. All the links.
And it's through her Etsy. You have Etsy store too, and then like you can pick what kind of galactic reading as well. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So cute. That's so funny because I started with tarot too in the beginning, like oracle card tarot. And then, and then that just like catapulted in. So another thing we resonate together.
That's so cool. And even the cards, like sometimes I'm like, I'm done with them. Like I learned and it was fun. But like, no, I love using them for healing. So I am happy that again, I have the guts. And that's why I'm tell people this stuff. Have the guts to try stuff. Yeah. Because sometimes you do it and you never thought you would like it or want to, and you're like, no, but it's actually really fun. It's one of the things when I'm doing tarot with other people, I like lose track of time because we're just, it's fun and it's effective and it helps. So
and you're like in the zone. You can just like tell you're like in it. You're like aligned in it. And I love that you have the intention of healing too. Because I've gotten a tarot reading from you before, my boyfriend, my friend, and that really is so healing. Like the underlining kind of message, is like how to heal this, and so good, so good.
Working smarter, not harder. It's about multitasking. Like, we are capable of it, right? So I like to assist in that way if I can. But yeah, thank you for asking, and thank you for your support. Those galactic readings are so much fun, and yeah, that's something newer that is available on my Etsy. Those readings are fun. That's really cool. So
it's super interesting. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in the galactic switch, we're super. Yeah, totally. I can vibe on all the galactic so much. Question. You said like one-on-one readings, you're not doing it right now, but if people are interested, what kind of like, or one-on-one like coaching, what kind of like, what would that kind of look like, I guess?
Good question. So if anyone was interested, they can again go to my profile, A Light Worker's Journey. There's a highlight. Those little buttons at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a button for it, and it says services, so they could see. Okay. I have 3 different packages. So there's, a smaller one, then there's a medium one for people that really, really, they're like, we're doing it, like, and then there's also another one that's more a la carte, so they could pick whatever they wanted. But yeah, it basically the first session, no matter what, will be a tarot card reading. We'll get to the bottom of whatever blockages are coming up, most present for you now, and any other messages that Spirit has for you, obviously. And moving forward, we'll work through it according to what package you pick. It does include the hand healing, aka Reiki, or whatever you want to call it. And I am Reiki certified. I just again, you know how it is when you're like,
I hear you. We're creating it. Nope, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're creating it. So it includes that, and then again, the larger package does have, and if anyone's interested, they can read the other pieces it includes, but it's effective. And you know what? I don't even like being called a coach. That's how I hate these labels. But I found with readings, the blocks come up. People do whatever they feel called to do, whether it's through guidance or their inner self, but then they want to come back because they want more. So it helps it be like a crash course rather than doing you know what I mean? So we really cover a lot of ground. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, keep coming back. Like, I'm not an enabler. Like, no, you got it, bro, but I'll get you started,
Yeah, no, I'm not an enabler. It's so funny. Well, that's a good idea, though, because really, like, once they get the reading from you and you're, like, bringing up all the stuff, and you're like, oh, my God, yes, and, like, oh, I don't know. Like, how do I do that? Like, what? And you're like, hey.
Exactly. So that's why the coaching really is exactly, and we can do the accountability, everything. So yeah, check that out on the highlight or button. What do we call it on my page if you're interested, or just DM me and we'll do whatever, custom everything.
Love it, custom everything with Kaylyn. Ooh,
thanks.
That's cool. So we're coming up on the hour, and I just want to see if there's anything else you wanted to bring up or kind of spread to everybody, or any last words?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you everyone in the room that sent healing to the dogs to chill them out. They didn't bark. Hello. They were when I first came out. I was like, oh my goodness. I knew they were fine. So let's close on that note. Let's remind ourselves that we're powerful creators, that we came here to create. That energy is everything, and that when we connect to our energy and set an intention, it works every time. And when it doesn't work, it's because we have more healing to do, because something is coming in, some little fishy ego shit. And we can always just keep healing and evolve and create whatever we want, like New Earth. So thank you so much for having me, and thank you to everyone. I see some of you guys down here. Thank you so much for showing up. And yes, New Earth everything.
You guys, thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, I was so honored to have you. Like, I can't believe I'm like a little starstruck, not starstruck, you know, like, oh my God.
Oh my goodness. No, thank you. This is amazing work. This is you found your own way. That's what's about. Finding your gift, your talent, your way. They're not gonna hand you directions. You go within and then you find and that's what you've done here. So it's beautiful. Yeah. I recognize that, I honor, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna ask people to come on and do the same.
Yeah, please. No matter where they are in their journey, I would love it. I would love to hold that space for them, and I'm here. So
yeah, you're great. And you're a good listener. Damn, I feel like I was doing my own live. I did all the talking again.
Oh, I love it. I honestly, I could have listened to yeah, exactly. I could have listened to you for so much longer.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Yes, nice meeting you in
person.
I know. So thank you everybody who joined, and thank you again. And go check her out. I'll put all the her page and everything in the description after. And yeah, okay. I'll see everybody soon. I'll talk to you soon, Kaylyn.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Bye. So cute, right?